I honestly don't know.
Unreal Online Learning. Okay.
Poggers, dude. We're doing the fun shit now, right?
Yeah, I think we're making a level.
Learn. Online courses.
Oh, do I actually have to sign in? What the hell?
Sign into learning portal. Wait, what the fuck? Was that not the learning portal? There's so many things. Getting started. No, I'm already here. Content. No. Dashboard. Nope. No. Oh, always show this message. I can get rid of that. Duh. Welcome to game development. We are at 0% still, even though we spent like 2 hours on it last night. Should I have the game open? Or the program open? I should start streaming. Oh, I am streaming. Are you streaming?
Streaming? No, not yet.
Okay. Twitch.tv/PatchyBeaver. Bro, you got 8 views yesterday streaming Psycho. Oh, wait, no. Yes? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It was a combination of Psychonauts and you didn't end stream to do it. To switch to Psychonauts.
Say learn. All learning?
Sure. Wait, what
The
are you?
fuck?
What?
I'm so lost.
Do you want to share your screen or are you going to figure it out? I can help or you can figure it out. It's up to you.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's why I asked.
Got it. Oh,
See,
I'm
dude?
incredible.
You're a genius.
Building your first level.
At this point,
Shit, are my dogs outside? One sec.
What'd you say? Oh, what did you say? And he's gone. I hate this bald man. Hate him. Hate him.
Is it possible to love and hate something at the same time? Like, legitimately?
Probably.
Because, like, I love and hate monsoons.
Monsoons?
Yeah.
Like the weather?
Yeah. Because, like, it's super fucking awesome because I love rain and I love cloudiness and, you know, the wind is awesome. But I have a fucking swamp cooler. So we're like having a minor monsoon right now, right? And it's still fucking 80 degrees and humid. So in my house, it is 80 degrees and humid, and I can't turn on the swamp cooler to cool it down. I am just stuck in humid 80-degree weather.
That sounds like it's your fault.
But if I go outside, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, monsoon season. Like, this is cool. I'm cool with this. I like this. Do this more often. Because rain is fucking awesome. Like, who doesn't like the rain? Fucking crazy people, that's who. Okay. Building your first level. Are you set up? Are you streaming yet? What are you doing? I thought you were ready. Why aren't you streaming yet? Patrick, where's the stream?
I'm bringing it up, guy. There. It's live now. I'm gonna start watching it, the first video. Goodbye.
Wait, what? Muting? You definitely.
Goodbye.
That's lame.
We've navigated around our project. We've added some content from a third party. We've migrated some things in. But let's start working on making our own new level so we can see how everything goes together. Inside of our content browser, let's go ahead and click on content. We'll right click and create a new folder.
Oh, we're
We'll type
doing
this
it.
one levels. Inside of our levels folder, let's make a new level. Well, how do we do that? We can go to File, New Level. It's going to ask us to pick a level from one of our templates, including an empty one. Or we can right click and choose Level, which is what we're going to do. Name this one Test Level. And you can press Enter or double click to open it up. In this case, it's going to ask us if we want to save our test level. Since it just created it, we'll save it. And now we have a new blank level. And it is truly blank. If we look at the route outliner, we have nothing. We have no lights. We have no meshes. So how do we start filling it up?
Hold on.
Well, let's add a few
Oh
meshes.
my god, he's
Let's
so
use our content
fast.
browser to find a floor and add it to our scene. We can search for floor, and we're going to go ahead and find a few things. Well, in this case, we're not, because we are in our levels folder. It needs to search through the main folder and everything below it. If we click on content now you'll find all of our different floors. But some of these aren't what we want. Some of these are materials, which go on meshes, and textures, which are part of materials. We want just the stack meshes. Well, we can use our filter. We'll click on filters. We'll go up to stack meshes. And now we have all of the stack meshes that are of type
Let me
floor.
ban this guy.
You can click on the filter to disable it, or right click it to
Da,
remove
da,
it.
da, da,
In this
da.
case, I want this floor. SM_kit_floor.
Ban.
If we look at the path, this is one of the learning kit floors
Goodbye.
we have.
Okay.
We'll drag it and drop it into our scene.
Did
and
Nathan
there's our
mute?
floor.
What a fucking
Now,
loser.
if your floor is showing
No,
up
I'm just
potentially-
fucking blasting by, you slow motherfucker. Wait, what? I would never.
That's probably true.
I would never
That's
roast
probably
you.
True.
on your settings, it may show up now, but it doesn't actually mean it's visible. In the top left, we have the different viewport options, and one of them is called Lit. This is going to show us what the map looks like with our lighting. Underneath that is Unlit. If we click on Unlit, now you should actually be able to see your item. There is no lighting in our scene. Materials react to lighting. You need light in order to see stuff. If you're in a dark scene without any lights, you can't see anything. If we go back to Lit, everything should disappear. Now, we're not really going to be able to work in this, so how do we get lighting in? Well, in the top left, we have our lights, and let's just add a directional light. We'll drag it and drop into our scene, and now you can see our item is lit up. A directional light, if we were to mouse over it, it's an item that basically simulates a sun. Really far away, throws down light in a certain direction at a certain intensity, or how bright it is, and a certain color. Now, if we have lit on and our directional light in a scene, we can see our item. We can see the lighting affecting it. We can see it's got kind of a little bit of shadows and some depth. Now, how do we make this one item into something bigger? Well, we could scale it. Here under scale, we have different sizes. We could drag these in our details panel. We could change to our scale, and we could scale them with our widget. Or I can type in numbers. In this case, I could go with 5 for the X and 5 for the Y. But you'll notice it stretches it out. And we don't want that. Let's go ahead and reset our scale back to default. There's a little reset button here on the right side of scale. Or you can change it back to 1. And let's just use multiple tiles. In this case, we'll go back to our translate tool. You'll also notice at the top it says W. That means we can press the W key to use the translate. If we drag this item and move it, it's not really going to do what we want. We could drag another floor in, but how do we get it set up correctly? How do we get it right next to the other one? You notice how it kind of doesn't really work? Well, let's just go ahead and duplicate and move items while we duplicate. In the top right, we have our snap settings. If we click on this item, and in the content browser, we look at its size, you can see its size is 400 by 400 by 35. So one of its size is 400. If we go to our snap settings and change this to 100, then our grid is now going to snap at every 100. So we can evenly snap these items next to each other. How do we duplicate? Well, we can right-click on the item, edit, and duplicate, or cut, copy, and paste, but we want it in the same position. We want it in the same area. Well, we can Alt-drag and duplicate. Holding on the Alt key on your keyboard and dragging on one of our widget axes. So in this case, the green one, so I move it to the right, will duplicate the item and move it at the same time. You can now see I'm dragging it along that green arrow, and I have a copy. If I let go of my Alt key, it's now duplicated the item. I can repeat this. I'll hold Alt and drag, and I've duplicated, Alt and drag, and I've duplicated. And since we set our snap to 100, we can easily move these at a 400 increment by moving it 4 times, and it's now snapped together. The nice thing is we can duplicate these 4 times multiple times. We can select them all in our world outliner. Click the first item, hold Shift, click the last item. They're all selected. Hold the Alt key, drag along the red, and now we're duplicating all 4. Do that a few more times. Or we could select them in our world. So for example, I could select these 4, click 1, Shift, click the rest, and drag again. And now we have a nice floor that's a 4x4. Okay, that's good.
Wait.
We've got a basic floor. Now we can start throwing some stuff
What?
in there, and then we can start play testing.
So about 4 minutes in, he says we're going to start duplicating. And about 6 minutes in, you get to a 4x4. I had the 4x4 by 420. Like 20 seconds after, because I was like, yeah, I want a big platform. Paul Orders, dude, feels good, man.
Let's try play testing it. We'll hit play like we did similarly in our third-person template. And our character now falls, and if we were to look around, they're just falling forever. Well, what's going on? Your player, by default, your default character, is going to spawn somewhere. It's either going to spawn at the player's start or where the camera is. Well, if we look through our world outliner, we don't have a player start. A player start is actually something that exists in the world. So it's going to start where the camera is. And our camera was kind of in the middle of nowhere. So if we go back up to our floor, we can double click on this item. It works the same as focusing. And zoom out. Let's move our camera into the middle. Now we'll hit play, and you'll notice our character spawns in where the camera's at, and he's on the floor, and we can run him around. But what about the player start? Well, let's find it. Under Basic, on Place Actors, we can find Player Start, or you could search for Start, find the player start, drag it, and drop it into your world. And this is an item. It's a blueprint that represents where the player is going to start. The little blue arrow here represents the forward direction, and this item represents the area he's going to start in. So now my camera can be all the way over here. If we hit the play button, it'll try to do its best to go to the player start. Or if we click the drop down, we can see, hey, we can force it to the camera location or the default player start. We'll hit play, and now you notice our character starts right there. If we want him in a different location or area, we can move the player start. We could rotate it as needed, so he's facing that direction. If it says bad size, that's because part of it is inside of our floor. We could move him up and down. Keep in mind, if your snap is still set high, let's set it back down to something like 5. We could easily move it like this. Or the nice thing is there's a hotkey called the end key, which snaps down. So if we have him up, we push the end key on the keyboard, and it'll drop it down to the bottom where it can start. We'll hit play again, and our character starts where we expected it. Okay, that's good. That's great. We've got a basic setting. This still looks a little bland. Let me show you the sky atmosphere, and then we can start playing around with the level a bit more and explore some more visuals. Inside of our place actors, we can look for sky, or we can disable that and look under our visual effects. And we have our sky atmosphere. Now, the sky atmosphere is something that was recently added where it basically represents the atmosphere or the top part of our world that you can see. We drag into the world and drop it, and nothing happens. The sky atmosphere basically holds a bunch of stuff, a bunch of data. How far your ground is, how wide your ground is, how far
Holy
up the
shit.
atmosphere is. Yeah, how's the atmosphere absorb light? A bunch of math.
We're
and a bunch
building
of
a
stuff.
game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do anything on its own. Our directional light, if we
Okay.
click on it in our world outliner, it determines how that atmosphere works. If we scroll down in the settings or we search for atmosphere, we can find atmosphere and cloud. And the first option is atmosphere sunlight, whether the directional light can interact with atmosphere. So if we click on this, we now get an atmosphere.
Wow.
It's above our horizon, and we get this nice little sun disk, and we get some light going down onto our item, and we get a nice blue sky. And the nice thing about this is if we take our directional light, I'm going to hit F to focus on our directional light. We can see we have an arrow that represents the sun's direction. We can actually look up and see it's the same thing. And if we rotate the directional light, I'm going to click the rotate button or the E, you can actually see the sun rotating in the direction of the light. And as it starts going down, the color will change
Oh
to more mimic
my
something like
god, dude, I'm
dawn
doing it.
or dusk. And once it goes below the horizon,
This
we
is
no longer have
crazy.
any light.
Yeah, we're fucking
And now that
cracked,
we
dude.
have a small scene set up with some basic static meshes and some basic lighting, go
Okay,
ahead and
4x4.
experiment some more. Add more meshes from your content browser and mock up a little scene. You could even play with some of the other lights. There are, of course, more advanced courses that you can look at to give you more information about lighting and visual effects.
Dad told me to build a scene. I gotta build a scene now. Okay. Are you building a? Are you done with the video?
No.
Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god, the golden hour. Ooh, ooh, baby. What does this do? Interesting. Interest. Go with like. Let's go with like 20. Let's go with like 30. Go 30. Interesting. Point 0.04 sounds good.
It's weird. I don't know why I can't move it.
What?
Lighting needs to be rebuilt. I'm confused.
You fucking up?
not intentionally. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's probably honestly it was probably because the snapping. Never mind.
Say lighting needs to be rebuilt?
That's what it says in mine.
Yeah, you have to do that every time.
Huh?
You have to do that every time you add any objects.
Okay.
You know how to do that, right?
No.
If you go to build, there's a little arrow. It just says build lighting only. But every time you add an object, that's gonna pop up. So it's you don't want to do it often.
Build? Yeah, I'm not doing it yet, but
Build,
build right here.
yeah,
Okay.
and then it says build lighting only. It just prevents the when you click play, it prevents an error from popping up. Basically, that's all. Oh shit! Did not mean to do that. 90.
Um
Poggers.
which way is this motherfucker looking? Whatever. We'll have him look that way. And then sky atmosphere.
Are you building your scene yet or no?
No.
I'm gonna be honest. Probably this is probably like super unnecessary, but I just want to mess with things because he said to. Fuck. House is supposed to be massive, clearly. So wait. So scale 0.25. Nope. 0.5 would be right. And
Oh, he said make a scene. Fuck.
I told, that's where I'm at. That's what I said. I was just like, fuck yes. Then I can.
Okay, let's check this shit out.
It's kind of blows chunks. What the fuck is this?
What?
Oh, I'm trying to do some jank shit. It's definitely my fault. Okay. Oh, fuck. Yeah, dude. Sick scene. I've built a fucking beast mode scene.
You did?
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't do much. Oh, that's how you do it. You go spotlight. Fucking 100 feet.
100 thieves.
Huh?
You say something about 100 thieves?
I said 180.
Oh.
Drop this one. Oh, that's sick. I'm honestly like insane at this game development thing, dude. You have no idea. Wait, what? Wait, what? Hello? Wait, what? Hello?
Wait. Come on, hold on.
Oh, there we go. So then can I add an ambient light? Is that a thing? What does a rect light do?
Ooh. That's nice.
How the fuck did you get over there, guy?
What?
I'm yelling at my light for trying to fucking do shit I don't want it to. Okay. No. Oh, wait, is that huge IQ? Am I fucking genius?
No, probably not.
5? Oh, dude, I'm fucking huge. Like, this is so good. You have no idea how good I
Is
am at
it?
this. Oh, this is fucking cool as hell. Yeah, this is absolutely
hold
cool.
on. I'm gonna open your stream right now.
Like, the amount of fucking work I'm doing for this is probably not worth it, but it's cool. Yeah, this is fucking cool. It's so stupid, but I love it.
Oh, you made a little house.
So
That's
I'm
sick. Oh, with the look at that. That lighting is nice.
yeah, that lighting is 2 different lights.
Hell yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I made this lighting work and everything.
That is a strong little lantern right
Oh
there.
yeah, so the lantern has a spotlight inside of it to turn it on, and then I have a light right here. It's a rectangle, and it's pretending that it reflects, but like, fuck it, dude. It looks good. No one's ever gonna fucking think
Yeah.
twice about it. But it took 2 lights to light this bitch up to look somewhat natural.
That's funny.
This is gonna be a lot more difficult than I'm thinking. Obviously,
Oh, absolutely.
like the amount of
This is gonna be so fucking hard. It's probably gonna take so much work.
Yeah, but if I get excited about everything like I did this stupid fucking light, then I think this will be good. Also, the roof. The roof is actually 4 different roofs. They don't have a triangle roof. They only have corners. So I had to like scale
I
it.
want an entirely different. You know what? I'm actually wiping this floor.
You're starting over.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a different level.
Okay. He just said make a scene, so that's what I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh wait, you know what? Oh, is there um what would it be called? Ooh, it is. Yes.
Okay, now how do I delete all that I have selected? Okay, he's sick. I'm a gangster. Oh, I accidentally took my lighting out. That's fine.
Okay. So then is there like yeah, there is.
Okay, I'm kind of back in the same position where I started.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Good.
Fog.
Didn't take too long. Don't understand why half of my island is black.
Is that a bad thing?
It looks very
Interesting.
weird.
Interesting.
Oh, shut the fuck up. There's something creating a shadow. Weird. Is it the atmosphere?
Where's your
What the fuck is creating a shadow? I'm gonna move away from this fucking area, I guess. Oh, wait. There's something right here, too. What the fuck?
what?
There's just like shadows, and I don't know why. Here. Oh, maybe this. Nope, that didn't work. What the fuck? It just took my directional lighting completely out now. What the shit is that? Oh, it's bringing it back slowly? I'm so fucking confused. Um. What is going on with my lighting?
I don't know. I'm not there.
What the fuck? Okay, I think I'm almost good.
All right. I think I have a scene. Oh, dude, yeah, this is cool. Okay. Okay. So now what I gotta do is I gotta some grass.
Whatever happened to my directional lighting? It's weird. But whatever, I'll keep it where it's at.
Fuck was that?
They've got preview printed on this island.
What?
The word preview is like
I don't.
italicized on my graphics.
Why? What?
I don't know.
I see that. It's not on mine. Which island did you use?
Like small or something like that.
I also used small. Get fucked, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't. My shadows are fucked, but whatever.
Where's the floor? I would like a floor.
Where's the chair? Can I change the player model size?
I don't know.
You think that breaks everything?
Probably.
I think I'm the same size. I actually can't tell. Man. Do I have? Don't. Oh, but I do have this. Fuck yes. I can't see shit. Oh, there we go.
This looks real as shit, dude.
Break it? Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be the fucking, what's Bethesda of game devs? I think it was Bethesda, where it's like they fucking, one of their trains is just a fucking NPC. Or is it Valve? It's
One of their
literally
what?
the train in one of their games is just. Oh, it's always pushed. I fucked that up. One of their trains is just a player, like an NPC, and it's just running around with its fucking head as a train. Well,
Oh, confused.
yeah, it's fine. I'm not explaining it well. Okay. Also, can I fucking please?
This grass is expert level, dude. No one can tell me it's not.
What are you doing? Who wants that much grass while they're playing a game, huh?
Don't talk to me. I'm focused right now.
On fucking laying down grass. You know you could just fucking select all of them at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay. Because what I'm watching, you have one selected. Also, why don't you just...
Why are the numbers weird?
Because when you're duplicating them and where they're ending up. Just rename them all. Okay. I just got the thing that the notification that you're live.
That makes sense. I agree.
Been live
With
for
that time
37 minutes.
Me? Wow, dude, I'm killing it.
Okay. Speaking of killing it, I'm going on to the next thing.
You're gonna go to the next video, dude? I'm not done with my scene. How dare you?
Well, fucking hurry up. I built a whole goddamn scene and you're still laying down grass, dude. I don't...
Don't talk to me like that. Those are my rice fields.
Who plays with that much grass? Who?
I like a bushy lawn. Okay? Fuck me, I guess. God damn.
I won't be, if that's how
I was
you
gonna
keep
put
yourself fucking
flowers in it
maintained.
too.
Nah, do you. That's fine, bitch. I'm just gonna fucking sit here forever.
I don't know how to create flooring.
I'm just gonna watch your
I don't like
PC fucking kill
seeing
itself.
I don't like seeing this darkness below my island. So I'm gonna move on my own accord.
Well, I
not
mean, yeah, we
because you
actually...
want to.
They actually said to keep messing with stuff, so I'm curious if we can figure out how to do... Like the
It's too late. I'm already watching the next video.
Okay. Working with visuals.
For the rest of this course, we're going to want to use the starter map that we brought in when we migrated our content. So let's find that.
Why did we build one then? Why did we build one then? Why did I spend all that time building one for this cuck So just come in here.
You can go to Learning Kits, Assets, and then the Maps folder. And we have our Learning Kit Game Showcase map. We could always search maps for Showcase as well from our content folder. Or if we wanted to, we could use one of our filters and choose levels. Remember, if you had the filter on from before, go ahead and click on it to disable it if it was set to stack mesh. With our Learning Kit
Holy
Game Showcase
shit!
map loaded, we have a nice little scene
Blinding
set up,
light.
and we can see some of the props that came with our package, and we can see a basic lighting
Wow.
setup.
The
Let's look at
nighttime
that
in
basic
that game
lighting
is
setup
sick as
and
fuck.
adjust it
What
a
the
little bit.
hell?
Right now, I think it's a little too bright. Well, primary brightness, basic lighting setup. Let's look at that basic lighting setup and adjust it a little bit. Right now, I think it's a little too bright. Well, primary brightness is going to be controlled by our directional light, how much light is coming into our scene. In the World Outliner, under the 00 ENV lighting folder, we have light source. Remember, the light source kind of mimics a sun. And we look at it, here's our intensity. It's set to 6. We could, of course, drive it up higher, and then we can't see anything, or drive it down to basically 0, and now we have no general light source. Well, even though we have no general light source here, how do we still have light? What is going on? Well, we have our skylight. If we go into our skylight, we can see it has an intensity scale as well. We drop that down to 0, and now we've pretty much lost all of the lighting on top of our level. All of our meshes see our thing, and now we've pretty much lost all of the lighting on top of our level. Well, even though we have no general light source here, how do we still have light? What is going on? Well, we have our skylight. If we go into our skylight, we can see it has an intensity scale as well. We drop that down to 0, and now we've pretty much lost all of the lighting on top of our level. All of our meshes are basically unlit now. The things we see are things that are self-lit. The items we can see in the background, our particle effects and our clouds and things like that, are going to be using emissive lighting, where they emit light, or unlit, where the lighting doesn't affect them. And that's why we can see those items even though we have no general lighting. But we don't actually have any lights anymore on our world, so let's adjust those back to something a little more appropriate. Let's go back to our skylight, and we're going to change its intensity back up to 1. And now we have this general overall flat light in our level. Skylight is kind of the lightness in the darkness. It's your ambient light. It's going to be that light inside of a shadow. It's going to be the light behind stuff. In addition to the intensity scale, we have the light color. This determines that color is going to be, or the overall effect. Now we could go for something pretty neat. Let's go for a little red effect here. We'll hit OK. And now we have this skylight effect basically tinting all of our stuff red. If we go back to our light source or our directional light, let's bump this back up a little bit. Let's change its intensity to 4. And now you'll notice it's kind of overriding everything. The directional light's kind of like your sun. It's a blanket light coming out. It's going to cast some shadows, and we get this nice white light because our light color is set to white. But our skylight is more like that ambient or bounce lighting, the lighting in the shadows, the lighting that just generally exists. It's not directly hit by our sun. So your shadows, you can see, have this nice little red light. If we go inside of our building, we have this red light. That's our ambient general lighting. So we can make these really cool little effects where things look different. They're stylized. As we are moving around the level, depending on if you're in a darker scene or a lighter scene, you may notice our colors changing. Like our reds are going to become brighter, but if we're somewhere else, then our reds will get darker. This is auto exposure or eye adaptation. Basically, as we go into darker areas, the lights will become lighter. As we go into lighter areas, the lights will become darker. It's mimicking what our eyes do. If we go into our post-process volume in the World Outliner, we go into the exposure settings under lens, or we search for exposure, we're going to find these settings. Now, since the scene was set up, it set it up to the settings it wanted to use. Exposure settings, under the lights will become lighter. As we go into lighter areas, the lights will become darker. It's mimicking what our eyes do. If we go into our post-process volume in the World Outliner, we go into the exposure settings under lens, or we search for exposure, we're going to find these settings. Now, since the scene was set up, it set it up to the settings it wanted to use. We have the minimum brightness and the maximum brightness, and then we have it set to an automatic adjustment. So it's going to change it between 0.25 and 0.8. Now, if we were to uncheck these and go to our defaults, you're going to notice a much, much more dramatic effect. That's because the default settings are much wider. In our case, we actually don't want this. So we can go to our minimum and maximum and change them both to 1, and that's going to fix it to 1. Now our darkers are a little darker, and as we move into the lighter areas, they're not going to adjust to become much darker. We can stay in a dark area, and it's never going to adjust. Okay, that's nice. Anything else we could add? Well, let's add a little bit of a light bloom, a little bit of occlusion, a light shaft. On our
Adding the
directional
light
light,
shaft.
so our
Well,
light source, let's go ahead
What?
and adjust it to give us that light shaft.
What did you say to me,
mentioned
old man?
everything-
I'm adding a light shaft. Are you
I'm
adding a
just
light shaft?
watching the fucking video.
Are you paying attention to what's happening?
Yeah, I'm paying attention. I was gonna focus on. I was gonna like go back into my own world and fuck with it.
Oh, that makes sense. Like apply it and just keep adding onto your own little thing.
Yeah.
Has properties and settings. Some of those common ones are things like the color and the intensity. But in addition, you have specific things. And on our lights, we have light shafts. So we could turn on light shaft occlusion and light shaft bloom, and now we're going to get these light shafts based on our lights, we have light shafts. So we could turn on light shaft occlusion and light shaft bloom, and now we're going to get these light shafts based on, what we can see. Obviously, when the light area, it's going to be shining bright.
Oh,
And if
that's
we have a little bit of blocking or occlusion, we're going to get these light rays. That's a bit too bright for what I would like, so let's lower it down. So let's go ahead and adjust its scale. So we could layer like our bloom scale down to 0.4. And maybe we can
Okay, let me know when you're gonna go on to blueprints.
max brightness down to something like 40. And we could even adjust the bloom tint to give us a little bit more of like a blue haze. And now if we're looking in our light, we have this little nice blue haze for this light shaft occlusion. There are hundreds of options and hundreds of adjustments you could do to adjust your lighting to get the exact light you want for your scene. Before we move on, I would like to take a quick look at the lighting mobility types and what they mean. If we go to our light source and scroll to the top, we have our different mobility settings. To break it down, mobility determines how that light is going to be used in the scene. Movable means it's totally dynamic. Everything is shadowed. Everything is lit in real time, but it takes the most amount of performance to get it. Every
I'm
frame
gonna
is going
play
to
some
calculate all of
fucking
those
music, dude.
pieces of information.
True.
Static, if we click on static, is the opposite. Everything is predetermined. Everything is figured out before the project's even run. Information. Static, if we click on static, the lighting mobility types and what they mean. If we go to our light source and scroll to the top, we have our different mobility settings. To break it down, mobility determines how that light is going to be used in the scene. Movable means it's totally dynamic. Everything is shadowed. Everything is lit in real time, but it takes the most amount of performance to get it. Every frame is going to have to calculate all of those pieces of information. Static, if we click on static, is the opposite. Everything is predetermined. Everything is figured out before the project's even run. But because of that, it doesn't have to figure it out per frame, and it's got the best performance. This is also known as baking or using a light map. You'll notice when you have that turned on, it tells you at the top lighting needs to be rebuilt, and you'll notice shadows have this preview on it. Now, stationary is a different option.
Oh,
It's kind of a mix between the two.
your preview was because of the
The preview,
shadows.
that means you'll have to go
Yeah.
to lighting. You
I
have
just
static.
learned it.
You would go up here to build, and you could build the lighting. If you have changed any of your lights, go ahead and set them back to movable for the rest of this course.
Up next, blueprints. Okay, Pog. So save this. Then let's go over to mine. So we want this. We want this to be movable. Poggers, dude. That makes that better. And then let's do some light. So do directional light and sky atmosphere. House. Oh, let's go.
Ooh.
Scroll up. How do I move those? Oh. Okay, so I have my house. I have
What's your game about, Zach? I'm not making like a game with an idea yet. I'm kind of just getting familiarized with building a level.
it's about zombies and dinosaurs and cars, and it's a third person shooter platformer. It's great. Okay. Light is-
Oh, I want more textures. Fuck.
You gotta learn the basics. Let's learn the basics. All right, one sec. I'm gonna go to the restroom.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Why is it slightly off?
What?
The grid snapping.
Yeah. Different sizes?
Yeah. I'm trying to put a wall up to a wall.
Oh, well the walls aren't like perfectly square.
Yeah.
Thought I did the lighting right.
Yeah, well, you didn't. So suck it. Loser.
Oh, I gotta do these. There we go. I want chicken, I want liver, meow mix, please deliver.
What the fuck are you listening to?
Huh? Nothing. What do you mean? Why would I be listening to meow mix?
I don't know. There's something wrong with you.
Bro, that's rude.
Dude, these walls are so off. Holy shit.
Oh, maybe don't suck.
Oh, wait.
Think of that.
I know why. I'm a genius.
Are you?
Oh my god, wait. Geniusing is so hard.
Bet all the geniuses say that. I want chicken, I want liver, meow mix, please deliver.
Stop.
Why, dude? You don't like fucking meow mix
It's
commercials?
ridiculous that you are singing these songs.
Uh, Are you still building your scene?
Yeah, I'm just fucking around with it.
Okay.
Did you go on to blueprints?
No, I was waiting on you. I messed with the lighting. I have a decent understanding of the basics. You're absolutely right, though. I don't know why we can't, like, how did they do the fucking... How'd they do the fucking light on the other, like, the bottom light? Like, how'd they do that? Oh, I found it. Never mind.
Skylight?
Sky Dome. Uh... Maybe? No? No, I don't get it. I'm just gonna keep saying, oh, like I get what's happening.
God, volumetric cloud looks like shit.
Wait, what? I'm fucking confused. Alright, click. It's just... How? Oh, I can, oh, fuck. How do you... Oh, god damn it.
You fuck it all up?
No, how do you merge assets? There was a way to do it, and I don't remember.
You go to what your um no. You go to the file you want, like the map.
Yeah.
See, I gotta find the map.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like levels, and then asset actions, and then you go
Asset
down to migrate.
actions. Okay, that's what it is.
Bitch, don't ever question me again.
Ah, fuck. Cause like this, I fucking want this, but I don't.
Oh my god. Wait, what? This is crazy.
What?
I found like the health and pain and physics and shit.
Yeah, we're gonna get there eventually.
Yeah. Oh, kill Z volume. This is probably the kill floor. When actors should be killed.
Oh, what? Wait, what the fuck is this?
Killing logic is overridden and fell out of world.
Oh my. I don't think that. I don't think that's meant to happen.
Wait, so we could design. We could design our own shit.
We could design our own shit in reference to.
Because like they give you shapes and stuff, and then you can fuck with like the shapes, and I don't know if we can like change the coloring on it and shit like that?
Yeah, you would just use Blender to make models.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even have to use this. This has like a jank version of it, you know? Oh, what the fuck? I don't think that's supposed to look like that. Um, I fixed it. I don't have a black line anymore. That's not what I want.
Okay, I'm gonna open a second window.
You're gonna open a second window for what?
With the shit that he's on, so I could look at the pre-made world.
You're gonna run 2 instances of Unreal Engine?
Yep.
Why don't you
It's
just
gonna be
save?
easy clap, dude.
Why don't you just save and switch between worlds? It takes like 2 seconds.
No.
It's so much faster. It is
No.
it is so fast, I promise you. Okay, we're going next.
Yeah. Blueprints. I like how it's your first hour. It's been like fucking 5 for us.
Okay. Starting blueprints now.
When we look around our test map here, we can see a lot of content. And one of those things is our buttons. If we look, we have 3 buttons, a green one, a red one, and a yellow one. Now you might think to yourself, if you wanted a bunch of buttons, you're just going to have to make a bunch of code or a bunch of logic or just copy and paste. But that's not the case. If we click on the button, on the right-hand side, we can click Edit Blueprint, Open Blueprint Editor. We'll go and dock this to the top, and we can see, well, we have a bunch of stuff. Blueprints are collections of things. They could be a mesh. For example, if we on the top left, we click on Viewport. We have a mesh, which represents our bottom plate. We have a mesh, which represents a button. We actually have a sphere, which is a collision. It's going to detect when the player walks on it and something's going to happen. If we go to the event graph, we have a bunch of stuff that's going to happen, or code or logic. In this case, the button might tell something else it was stepped on, or even change color. If we go back to our map and hit play, we can walk our character over to the buttons. Now, if you can't rotate your view with the mouse, there's a reason for that. We're actually going to fix that as soon as we're done with this. But you can use your arrows to still move the character over. You notice as we step on the buttons, they actually go down and they light up. And that's all logic controlled by a blueprint. And instead of making a blueprint for each button, we make one blueprint and we just change a few settings. If we have our blueprint selected here, see our 4 buttons.
This is so satisfying.
Down here we have some settings, and this tells us, is the button on or off, and what's the color of the button. I could easily take and find this button inside of my folder, or just duplicate like anything else. I'm going to hold down Alt and drag to make another button. Now we have another instance or a copy of that blueprint in our world. Its unique settings are here, and we can make it have, let's say a blue. Now we have a bright blue button that would react when we step on it and possibly do something. Blueprints are a great way to reuse stuff. And I use stuff generically because it could be items like a building. You build a bunch of parts and you just copy and paste it with a different blueprint. Or it could contain logic. And one of the bigger blueprints we've actually been working with this whole time is our player character. If we click on our player character in the world that we can see here, we can see it's a blueprint. If we were to edit the blueprint, we'll open it up and we'll look at it. You'll see is a bunch of code. It's got a viewport where we can see our player character and a few other things like its colliders. We can see a camera in the back. It's all built together to represent our character. It's a special class or it's a special type of system built to mimic a character. On the top right, we can see character. And because of that, it comes with some special things. Some of the special things are like the ability to understand crouching, understand jumping, falling in the air, flying, walking, all of these different types of things built into it as a character that is provided to us by Epic. One of the things is also handling movement. If we look around on our blueprint here, we can hold down the right mouse button to drag around, zoom in and out with the scroll mouse, and select with the left button. I'm going to go ahead and look at our little movement input section. We can see some blueprint nodes or code. Blueprint nodes are executed left to right based on the primary nodes right here. The nodes that are going to have these white little wires called execute. The ones without the wires are what's known as pure nodes, or basically they hold information that we're going to ask for. In this case, when we say move forward, we're going to add movement input to go forward. How does it know what forward is? Well, it says, hey, what are we currently rotated like? Figure out which way is forward from there and add forward. Same thing with the right. Move right. Figure out which way is right and move right. And you might be thinking, well, that's weird. Where's left and where is backwards? Well, forward is one direction. Backwards is just the opposite of forward. So if you're saying I'm going backwards right now, then you're just going to get the opposite of forward. If you're going to go left, you're going to get the opposite of right. So this little bit of code can handle moving left, right, forward, and back. If we look through here, we can see some little yellow exclamation. These are warnings. This is saying our mouse has an issue. And remember, we know it does. We couldn't move the mouse left and right. We couldn't turn right. And that's because the input settings aren't set up right. We brought this in from another project, but all we brought in was the raw information. We didn't actually bring in stuff like how do we move the character. But the nice thing is super easy to fix. If we go into our main level, we'll go to Edit, Project Settings, and here's all the settings unique to our project. And one of them is going to be Maps and Modes, and the other one's going to be Input. Why is Maps and Modes important? Maps and Modes determines some of the game framework or the nice helper stuff that the engine gives us. Like what is going to be our default pawn or the default player or the default thing that is represented by the person behind the screen. Do we have a heads-up display? What is our controller class? Our controller class, for example, is mimicking the inputs that we're going to give to our character. And a few other nice helpful things like handling multiplayer and storing information from one map to the other. Down here under input, we have the input settings. Hey, I want to do something when I do it. So for example, here's the jump action. If I push these keys, jump will happen. You know, spacebar is one of them. If I push these keys, something will happen. So for example, we have look right, which is the mouse X. If we go back to our player, so let's find our player here, you'll notice this is called turn right. We have look up. If we go back to our project settings, you'll notice we have look up, which is the mouse Y. So the default settings that came into the engine for our third-person character don't match the settings that our custom character, our little guy, expects. So therefore, it's like, hey, I don't know what to do. We have two ways of fixing this. One, this is looking for the word turn right as an axis. So we could add turn right to here. Two, we already have look right set up for our mouse left and right. So we could use look right. Either one would work perfectly fine. Let's look at both of them. We'll right click on the background and it's going to say, what do you want to do? Well, we know our input is called look right. So we'll right click and we'll type look right. And you'll see you have two things. One's an input event and one's getting the value. We want the event. The events are the ones with these nice, awesome little white wires. And we could replace the hookup here and here just by dragging. We can move this one off to the side now. And you'll notice now it's going to go ahead and try to do, whenever we say look right, add yaw input or left and right input. If we were to compile, go back in and hit play, now our character should be able to look left and right and up and down like we expected. The other way is we just simply fix the missing issue. This is looking for turn right. We'll go into the project settings. We will set up a new axis mapping with the plus key. We'll type in turn right. We want to do mouse X. We type in mouse X. And now whenever the mouse X is used, it's going to call turn right. It's also going to call look right. You can have multiple inputs mapped to the same keys and input. We'll go back in here. We'll hit compile.
Dayton being a funny
You'll notice
man.
it no longer has a warning.
Yeah, he said just buy a
turn
game
right is.
off the Steam
Let's hook
store.
that back up. You can use the Alt key
Just
to
buy a
disconnect
game
if you
wall.
click on something, or the Control key to move. So now turn right is going to be hooked up to yaw input. We'll go ahead and go back and hit play. And we can turn right, and it's going to work like we expected. So that's just a simple overview of how Blueprints can bring the ability to quickly iterate over a project and add in custom logic. You'll notice, despite the fact that this looks like a lot of code, we're not really doing a lot if you think about it. Let's say, for example, our jump over here. This is our code for jumping. It handles when we push the button jump. It checks to see how many times we've jumped, and then we'll either jump or start flying. We're not saying switch
Oh, it's
to
the
this
conclusion,
animation.
dude.
We're
We're
not
almost
saying,
done with our
okay,
first
how
hour.
high
Should we
do
just
you
go
want to
straight into
jump in
that?
here? We're not saying, okay, how long's the animation?
so.
How long you're going to hold the jump? Those are all
Battlefield 4
parts.
is better than this.
Start flying. We're not saying switch to this animation.
We'll see.
Not really
We'll see if
doing a
me
lot
and
if you
Nathan
think
can
about
make
it.
a fucking game.
Let's say, for
Ever.
example, our jump over here. This is our code for jumping. It handles when we push the button jump. It checks to see how many times we've jumped, and then we'll either jump or start flying. We're not saying switch to this animation. We're not saying, okay, how high do you want to jump in here? We're not saying, okay, how long's the animation? How long are you going to hold the jump? Those are all parts of our character, where if we were to click on our character and look at it, we could find things like our maximum jump, which we can see here. How many times you're going to allow them to jump, how far they're going to jump. All settings provided to us by Epic as part of this character.
Up next, conclusion. Pog. Well, I don't fucking delete this. How do I? There you go. Don't gotta worry about it. Dum-dum. Wait, I don't have crouch? Fuck, I literally totally forgot what we just did. Patrick, are you watching a video or are you doing something?
I'm watching the conclusion.
Oh, I'm not there yet.
What'd you say?
I'm not there because I'm an idiot.
Okay, loser. Fucking moron.
Yeah, true.
And here's all the settings unique to our project. And one of them is
I'm gonna make a fucking
Main
massive game. I
level.
don't give a shit.
we'll go to edit, project settings.
That's what it is.
It's gonna be a massive map with a lot of detail that has no story at all.
And no one.
It's
Nice.
gonna be sick.
Action mappings, handbrake jump, crouch, maybe, and then control. Let's go C. People like C for crouch. Okay. So I added crouch. What's like a good... So wait, so I can crouch now? Is that... I can crouch. Oh my god. It's fucking snake on these kids. Look at this shit. Okay. Crouch toggle. Okay. I'm learning.
Okay, conclusion over.
Well, I'm learning. Did you got everything set up?
What?
Crouch snake, crouch toggle?
For what? From blueprints?
Yeah. It literally breaks things so that way you can set them up.
Yeah.
For practice.
Yeah. I'm doing the quiz too. You want to add a custom static mesh to your level. Which window holds all of the assets that are inside your project? You want to add light to your level. Which panel in the editor has a list of light actors you can add? What? It's lights. Or is this all place actors? Okay.
Okay. What else is broken? Interact. E, obviously.
I'm not cheating. You're cheating.
Hey, bro, you're cheating?
No.
Imagine cheating on a
Which
quiz
light
that you don't
actor
have to
acts
take.
as an overall light for the level and can help you add color to your shadows, directional light. Oh, it's skylight. Fuck.
Dude,
When
now you're
working
cheating.
with blueprints, changes made to an individual instance in the level will affect all other instances in that. False.
Okay, so what else do I need? I need interact. What is this? Interact alt? Who the fuck needs that? /hold? Fucking F? I guess?
Hey, we did it. Editor basics introduction, editor basics overview. Okay, sick. Let's go.
Let's go. Fucking...
Hurry up. Okay, so the first one was your first hour in Unreal Engine.
We've spent 3 hours doing it, or 4.
Oh, we're 20% complete with game development now.
Oh, dude, we're actually huge. We're fucking...
Damn, that was
genius.
fast as shit. Another couple days, we'll be 100% game developers.
Yeah. That's exactly that's all it is.
But then we got the next things are editor basics, introduction, overview, the viewport, world outliner, details panel, another quiz, modes panel, content browser, main toolbar, editor basics conclusion, introducing Unreal Engine Quiz 2, settings overview, editor preferences, projects, world settings, introduction to the launcher.
What is it? What else is
Comprehending
broken?
projects and file structures? What the hell?
What is this? Gamepad input? Turn right rate? Oh, okay. Well, that's...
Blueprints and gameplay for game designers. Oh fuck, dude. Once we're at that shit's crazy. Adding sprint, adding crouch. Health and debug. That's cool.
That's interesting.
Becoming an environment artist. Oh my god, introduction to environment art. I'm gonna start that now.
What?
What? You don't want to skip to the coolest parts?
No, that's quite literally the whole point.
Oh. All right. Well, are you starting up yet, or what's going on?
I'm doing conclusion now. I was getting the game working again because it was practice on fucking blueprints that you just skipped
We've
over.
gone through the basics of the engine.
Can your
and
character
we've looked
celebrate or
at the
crouch or
editor,
sneak?
We've looked at bringing in content
Yeah.
from various
No,
places.
they fucking can't.
We
I
looked
didn't
at
even
creating
hear
our own
that in
level
my
and
video.
how we could
What
get
are you talking
started with that. We looked at setting up some of the
Go to compile or go to your character, right? And then you see how your compile still has a fucking bunch of problems.
What are you talking about?
Okay, in Unreal Engine, right? Open up your character's blueprint.
Yeah.
Okay. You see how compile still has an error?
Where?
Little fucking. Wait. What? Oh, you're not. Are you in the imported one or are you. Which project are you on?
Yeah, I imported this.
You're not on the merged project.
Yeah, I am.
So you set up crouch and sneak.
Let me see.
If you go to
Talking
edit,
about this one
if you go to edit and you go to project settings.
here.
Yeah, you're in the fucking wrong one, you bitch.
I'm just gonna go ahead and close this. This island didn't take long, so I don't care about wiping it.
But no, that's the.
Levels.
Yeah, you're supposed to go
Don't
to.
save.
Well, why aren't you saving? You don't care?
No. Oh, did I do the wrong one? Fuck.
What'd you do?
I broke it. No.
What'd you break? Oh my god.
I think I had to start the project again.
Okay, start your project that you merged. And then when you do that, open up the level that you merged.
I had to. Let me just start a new one.
What?
Because I think I just deleted the level.
Then just re-merge it.
Yeah, I could do that.
I'm gonna go pee. And then I'm gonna finish this conclusion.
Okay, file. Open.
Alright, I'm watching
the
the
visual
conclusion.
control, such as our lights. And we looked at understanding the basics of a blueprint and even fixed a broken part of our blueprint by fixing our input. Where can we go from here? Honestly, I would say just start playing around in the project we've got so far. Create a new level. Put some of this modular
Oh
kit
my
to
god,
use.
compiling shaders.
Add
No,
a
my
player start
stream
to
is
get the
gonna
player in
drop.
there. Switch it over to this default character. Fix the other inputs. You know how to add the other inputs. Just start.
In the conclusion, he literally says, "Fix the other inputs." You cucklord. You didn't even fix one during the blueprint section where you were supposed to fix one.
Blah 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 blah.
I told you not to open the other project. I told you to stay in the project that we started.
experimenting with what you have in front of you. And from there, when you've
Oh,
determined
there's the
there's something
compilers.
you need to learn, go ahead and go back to your launcher and go to the Learn tab. Here we have some other quick starts, like maybe I want to be an artist or a level designer or even a programmer. Maybe I want to learn something more specific, like
So where do you have to go?
Destruction.
Okay, so mount that to your top, right? Like drag the little window, mount that up to your top.
What?
Okay, so you drag this little window, right, up at the top, the little window, and you drag it to the main window. The small one, the little tab, like a Google Chrome tab.
What?
Okay, you know how Google
Where
Chrome.
do I go to the character?
Okay, look, you know how
Where do I go to the inputs?
You know how Google Chrome has the little tab, little gray thing? Drag that to your main window. Holy fuck! Do you not use
What?
Google Chrome? Patrick, I swear to God, watch my stream
What?
for 2 seconds. Watch my stream for 2 seconds.
Okay.
So this is how you have it set up, right? Like this. You just grab this and you drag it right there. Okay, and then you come over here.
I'm not seeing anything.
I literally just showed you.
Hold on. Yeah, it's behind.
Oh yeah, there's the delay. Man, there's such a delay. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
this is such a long fucking delay. Yeah, holy
What
shit.
the fuck, YouTube? Figure it out.
Okay. What about it?
You go to edit, the edit button at the top, and then go to project settings.
Yeah.
And then under engine, the big tab, there's an input.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Is it character or some shit?
Input, yeah. Then there's action mappings, and that's basically what you'll be doing for most of them, to fix most of them.
Adds action mappings.
Yeah, you click the little drop down, so you already know what you have, but yeah. Okay, you did it as I said it, but you had already done it well before I said it because fucking delay. And then you can go through and see all of the broken ones and fix them. It's just practice, basically. That's all it is. Just to get used to it.
And then just put crouch toggle, and sneak.
Yeah, basically.
The fuck?
What? What's up?
Yeah, I just don't know what to do.
What do you mean? So
What key?
So, right, change the name to crouch, and then change the key to whatever key you would crouch with. You get to choose. That's what you're doing right now. You are setting it up.
I didn't know I needed to choose that shit.
Yeah, you get to choose. It's how you would have it set up, basically. Yeah, you're the dev. They don't tell you what to do.
Hopefully there's not already one on C. Why is it crouch toggle? Wait, what? Is that also just the same thing? Also C? Bald dude's a bitch, dude, for not answering.
You get to choose. What do you mean?
Crouch toggle.
Okay.
Is it not gonna mess it up if it's the same fucking button?
Yeah, it will. You would choose a different crouch button.
That's weird.
Or just delete crouch
like it
and
would
just
be-
only have crouch toggle if that's what you want.
But would it even mess it up? Because if you're holding crouch, you're gonna stay crouch. But if you just tap crouch, you're gonna stay crouch.
I don't think it'll mess it up. I think it just won't. It'll just toggle always. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it'll just toggle.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have a toggle. Doesn't have a released. I'm just gonna get rid of toggle.
You're gonna get rid of toggle or you're gonna get rid of hold? You're fucking weird.
No, I'm gonna get rid of hold. You're right.
I was like, that's some weird shit. Okay, I'm gonna finish my conclusion.
Or architectural visualization. Take some time to download the content example map and look through it. It is full of hundreds of pieces of content, from
Where the fuck is
animation to
shift?
visual effects explaining the basics. There's even a nice one
Oh,
about
left shift. There it is.
math and things like vectors. The next section, which you should be familiar with, is our
Oh.
online learning website. This is constantly being updated with new content, so feel free to browse the content library every so often and look for something that might pique your interest. Next, we have the documentation. So if you go to docs.unrealengine.com, or you go to the top under Learning Support Documentation, you can find the documentation for the engine, both the programming side and the visual side, as well as how to do common things and use common features, and then links to related courses on those features back to the Learn portal. Lastly, I would actually recommend, since we've started with some of this content, go to the marketplace on the launcher and search for Hour of Code. What you're going to find is the Unreal Engine Hour of Code marketplace content. Inside of here is the content we used earlier for our sample, but in a prepackaged learning environment. In addition to that content,
Why
you have
does that
5
not work?
project documentations that will walk you through different problems and learn how to use coding and other parts of the engine to solve those problems
Whatever.
in an interactive way. It's a great way to take what we've
It
learned
didn't
so
work.
far
Nathan's
and put it
dumb.
into
Doesn't know what he's
use.
talking about.
Wait, what do you
The
mean?
Go to the
Unreal
next
Engine
video.
is a
What?
large
It didn't
and
work.
complex.
What do you mean it didn't work?
There's still warnings.
Okay, so compile, and then see if there's still warning.
Now there's no warnings anymore.
You fucking. Yeah, you have to compile it, bud.
I'm a fan of compiles, but I
complex product.
didn't know
But
how
do
to do
not
all
get
that. That's
discouraged.
ridiculous.
There are plenty of learning resources out there, and you will soon be able to use the engine
What still needs to be
bring your
compiled?
creativity to life.
Oh, the mouse input. True.
So you can actually fucking look. Okay, quiz time. You want to add a custom static mesh to your level. Which window holds all the assets? The content browser. You want to add light to your level. Which panel in the editor has a list of light actors? The fucking... I'm not cheating. Place actors. Shit, I see where you cheated now. It's
Cheater.
right there. Like, I don't remember the name of it.
Cheater.
You didn't
Turn right.
get skylight right?
I thought it was directional light. Leave me alone.
Change is made to an individual instance and the level will affect all other instances in the same level. False. I'm fucking out. I'm so good, dude. Oh my god, we literally, our first hour took like 4 hours.
Yeah. Where's the compile now?
I don't know, what'd you miss? I'm actually interested.
I don't know. I'm looking around. I don't see it. Oh. All of them? What the fuck?
What?
I literally had to do all of them?
What?
There's interact, all, celebrate.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Holy
It's
fuck, dude.
to learn. It's to get it in your head how to do it.
Hey, I'll get that eventually. I'm going to the next one.
Editor basics introduction. What the fuck is editor?
Or editing.
Unreal Engine editor? I don't know what
Hello,
this is. Is this different?
My name is Matthew Wadstein, and in this series, we're going to cover the editor basics. We're going to give you an overview of how the
I'm clicking
editor
play
is
and
laid
nothing's
out, as well
happening.
as how to customize it.
I think we broke it.
The viewport. What options do we have available inside the viewport, and how do we navigate around it? The world outline.
Great, it's playing.
How
Goodbye.
it works? What is it good for? The details panel. What does this do, and what features does it give us when we use it? The modes panel. What available modes do we have when working in the editor? And then an overview of the place mode. The content browser. What is this giant thing for, and how do we customize it to make it a little less unwieldy? And then finally, the main toolbar, our shortcuts to our common actions.
Just going over everything about the editor.
Yeah. This seems like it's gonna be a
That's
bunch of
probably
boring
good.
shit.
Yeah, it will be, but it's
it-
probably pretty useful.
Yeah, it's gonna be all the useful shit though.
The Unreal Engine 4 editor, which we can see here, is going to be our default interface for working with the engine and our project.
All right, dude, we're learning.
This is our default layout. I've created a project, and we're going to go ahead and cover the layout using this project. As we can see here, we have...
You spent years in school.
On the left, we have our modes window. This is where we can add some items quickly. We can work with like our landscape and our geometry. At the top, we have our main toolbar. This is where we can do things like saving our current project, going into plain editor mode, and then also testing the project out. In the middle, we have our viewport. This is our main viewport into our map so we can see what we're working with. At the bottom, we have our content browser. Basically, think of this as our file explorer for our assets inside of our project. Top right, we have our world outliner. This is an overview of all the individual items we have inside of this level. And then at the bottom, we have our details panel. And this is where we can see the individual parts for our items that we've clicked on so we can adjust them if needed. Now, the default layout is customizable. Everything in here is a window. We can move a window by clicking on the tab and dragging it and dropping it wherever we want it. We can resize windows by clicking on the dividers between windows and moving them to where we want them. We can hide the tab. So for example, I like where the content browser is. I can right click and hide the tab, and now it's going to collapse it. Or we can click on that little arrow, unhide the tab, and then that will allow us to move it to the new spot. Now if we get to the point where we've moved things around and we don't really like it, we want to go back to defaults, we can go to window, reset layout.
Feeling we'll be referring back to these videos a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Put our layout back to the default.
I've already done it like twice.
Now there are a few hidden things that we have access to that are helpful if needed. In the top right, we have the name of our project. In this case,
shit.
Overview. We can see the version number of the engine we're using for this project.
What?
As well as any brand.
What?
Nothing.
What'd you fuck up?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but you said, oh shit. It seems like something I should be worried about. If I'm being 100%.
What?
Because generally, oh shit means something no good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Could never, right?
Oh shit.
Good talk.
Oh shit. That's cool.
I fucking what? Holy shit.
Nothing. I'm just looking at the different modes. There's like landscape mode and foliage mode and brush and mesh mode.
Oh yeah, gonna be honest with you, I'm still like fucking building my island. I got distracted again. It's really cool. I don't know, dude. Like I'm gonna build my own little
You can
thing.
fill. You could fill world. Oh, that's oh my god.
What do you mean fill world? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna keep watching.
Edge. So for example, I'm using the launcher version of 4.18, and we can see that here. Next to this, we have a little hat icon. This is for our tutorials. We can click on that, and we're now presented with a list of tutorials. We could, for example, welcome to the editor, and this will walk us through some basics of the editor, like we're covering now. This is useful if you need some quick information for learning a topic you might not know yet. In the top left, we have our more common menu options. We have our file menu. This is where we can load and save assets as well as maps. This is where we get access to things like cooking our content for our project so that we could then package the project into the appropriate platform that we want. Our edit is our undoing, copying, pasting, and duplicating, but also quick access to our preferences and settings, as well as our plugins window for adding and removing plugins to our project. The Windows menu is for Windows. This is where we can get access to things like maybe a duplicate details panel. You can dock this extra one somewhere else and now have 2 details panels. We have our developer tools, things like our debugging and analyzing systems, as well as our saving and resetting layout options. Finally, we have our help menu. This is where we can get quick access to our documentation, our references, quick links to our answer hub and support forums, and other useful things. Understanding the basic layout is a great way to get started. Up next, we're going to cover the viewport.
Nice. Covering the viewport. Where are you at? You're fucking around with something completely different.
No.
Oh.
I'm almost done with the overview
you're
video.
watching the video. Bad.
The viewport is our view into our world.
Okay, now I'm
allows us
onto the
to
viewport.
see what is inside of our level, manipulate those items, and basically visually work with everything. So we're going to take a quick look at it. Our viewport is this giant item in the middle of our screen where we can view our project. We can see what
How long are you on for?
And it has a few
I don't know
options.
why.
In the top left corner, we have our viewport
Just wondering.
options. This controls the way the viewport works.
Probably like another
what
2
we can
hours.
see inside of it. For example, we can toggle things like real time and frames per second on. We can adjust our field of view if we want to change it to better match our project. We can toggle cinematic preview on and on. This gives us play controls if we're viewing a cinematic. We have game view, which I'll cover shortly in more detail, and immersive mode, which is basically full screen for the viewport and can be toggled here or with the F11 key. Below this, we have bookmarks. This gives us the ability to jump quickly from one spot to another. You can see here I have 3 bookmarks. I can click on each of them and jump directly to a bookmark, or use the 1, 2, and 3 key on my keyboard to jump to preset bookmarks. If I move my view to somewhere I want, Use the control and the number key, I can now have a new bookmark. I can jump from 3 to my new bookmark of 4, which you can see here. I now have a new bookmark I set using the control option. You can also clear them here. Layouts gives us the ability to change how many viewports we have available. By default, we have 1. We can go to layouts and we can have 2, 3, or 4 in different configurations. These are just the defaults. I can go here, I can choose 3 panes. Now we have 3 viewports. Each viewport is independent. They can all change the way that they appear as well as they're shaded. So for example, this one is top wireframe. I could change that to maybe left and unlit mode, and now I would have a left unlit viewport. Independent of the other 2 viewports. I'm going to go ahead and reset these back to default. Now the options next to this are the way our viewports look and the way they are shaded, and also visualization options. So by default we have our perspective view, but we could change this to any of the orthographic views by using the shortcuts or by clicking the options. And then we have our view mode. By default we're going to have lit. We could change this to unlit, or we can change this to wireframe, or any of the other modes that allow us to better visualize our options. And all these details are covered in the documentation. Lastly, we have show. This changes the way the editor shows different parts of your project, and this is for the editor only. So for example, maybe I don't want to see the grid. The grid is this item over here that we use for snapping and various other placement. If I don't want to see it anymore, I can go to Show Grid, and now the grid will disappear. I can go back to Show Grid, and now I can view it. Now by default, we're in the editor mode. This is where we can see things like our icons for our actors. We have our game view. It's the G button, or clicking here, and now you'll notice our icons disappear. The game view tries to give you a more game view or project view looking view. It's very similar to if you were to preview it in the editor or standalone mode. It's a quick way of visualizing what it might look like when you run the project. They are separate views. Editor and game view are separate, and the show options are independent. Let me go back to this view. I'm going to grab this material and make my walls glow. Now if I'm working in here, I might start to have a problem because now I have this overwhelming bloom, and it's going to make my level design a little difficult.
That's weird. Oh. Huh. No, it says it's fine. That's odd.
What are you doing?
So I might want to go into show, post-processing bloom, and now
Ashton said that my stream was quiet. Everything seems fine on my end, so I'm curious.
Well, I can go into play.
Ashton said that my stream was quiet. Everything seems fine on my end, so I'm curious.
Well, I can go into play.
I just wasn't talking into my microphone. Poggers.
Like, or I could go into play in standalone, and it's going to compile a few things and show me what it looks like. But maybe I want to see it quicker. Well, I'll hit my G key, and now I can see my bloom is re-enabled. I've disabled game view. I'm in editor view. Show, post-processing, bloom is unchecked. I will enable game view. I will go to show, post-processing, and now bloom is checked. These settings are independent of each other, and they are separate for those views only. So keep that in mind. You could have both of them not show the bloom, and maybe you just simply don't want the grid showing when you're in game view, but it's fine, we're in editor. It's your choice, it's your options. The upper right controls the way we work with the items inside of our view. If I click on an item, we'll click on this cube for example, we get our manipulator widget. And by default it's going to look like this, and it's going to allow us to move or translate this object. Up here in the top right we are showing we can select and translate this object, or we can use the W key as a shortcut. Next to that is rotate, or the E key, and scale, or the R key. So we can do W, E, and R to change through our tools, or the space bar to toggle to the next one. Once we have one we want, we can click on one of the manipulators here. Z is vertical, Y is going to be horizontal, usually left and right, and X is going to usually be forward and backwards, or the red one. We can click on them and move the item as such. You can also click on the combined widget. For in this case, we'll click on these two. It's going to be our Y and our Z. It allows us to move it on the Y and the Z at the same time. Now you may notice it's snapping in the world view. I move this item around based on the world's X, Y, and Z. If I click on the manipulator,
There a way to
next
lock
this will
things?
toggle between world and local view. So let's
Maybe
say we take
12
this item,
or
we're
something.
going to rotate it, and now it's going to be angled.
What?
Like this. If I want to move this in the direction the item is
Fuck.
facing, I need to use local view. World view, relative to the world. Click the icon local view. It's relative to the items itself and its local axes. I'm going to go ahead and reset that back to default. Next to this, we have our snapping options. We have how the item snaps when we translate.
I feel like we've already learned this. I feel like this should have been the first
one.
one.
The item snaps when we move.
Yeah.
By default, it's going to be set
Figured
to
it out.
grid snapping. Surface snapping is an option you can enable here. Grid
Didn't figure
snapping
it out.
means the item will snap to the grid that we can see here. Now I have a cube. We'll go ahead and we'll look at our cube here, and we can see that it's kind of off. It's not really snapped to this grid. If we were to move it, it's going to look weird. Well, my snapping's set to 100, and my grid, as you can see, is set to 100. But my X and the Y aren't multiples of 100. It's kind of off. Let me change my snapping to something like 10. Now my grid will get smaller, and now you can see it moves in increments of 10. Maybe set to increments of 5, and the grid will adjust accordingly to whatever you've set it up as. And these are adjustable inside of the editor preferences. This is for toggling on and off the translate snapping. So you can see now it
What
will
the
not
heck?
snap. We have the same options here for our rotational snapping and degrees, and our scaling snapping and the units.
Yeah,
for
we've
scale
been
snapping.
taught all of this.
Lastly, we have the ability to change the speed at which our camera moves.
Yeah, it's almost over. I don't
Well,
think
this
it's going
isn't
to
very
teach me
helpful
anything
because we
new.
don't know how to use that. We don't know how to actually move our camera. Well, it's pretty simple. If you've played a first-person shooter game, or you've used a recent digital content creation software package, maybe Maya or Moto or Max, it has the same layout. The right mouse button toggles the ability to look around.
Yeah,
I'm holding the right
F.
mouse button.
Whatever, I'm going to World Outliner.
I move my mouse. The W, A, S, and D keys allow us to move left, right, forwards, and backwards relative to our way our viewport camera is looking. So you can see I'm flying around by holding the right mouse
I'm still
button
just working
and
on
using
this
my
world that
W, A, S, and D keys.
I was told to build.
And if we want, we can use the Q and the E key to go down and up. Now if you're wanting to move faster or slower, now we can adjust our camera speed. But let's say we go to like
Baldie,
6,
why does
we're
your
going
breath
pretty
always
fast,
smell bad?
but we want to get in close. And now
'Cause
we're
she's
going
a
too fast,
dog.
but we don't want to let go of our view.
That's
You can use the
rude.
mouse wheel
I
or
don't know, man. I've
button
never had a
to
dog
speed
with
up
good
or
smelling
slow
breath.
down by
Racist.
rotating
I
it
take
in
care
or
of
out
I
and
take
making
care
it
of Bubbles
faster
like a lot.
or slower.
We're brushing her teeth constantly and like fucking
Lastly,
giving her
we have
the treats
focus.
that say they help
So
her
let's
teeth.
say we
and-
are somewhere else
Do you wanna go
and
outside?
we want to find something. Let's say we are in a different part of our map and we want to get back to our player. If we know where our player start is in our hierarchy, or we can see it, we can click on that item to have it selected,
And click F.
hit the F to focus
Yeah, I know,
key,
guy.
and now you're going to go and zoom in and focus on that object. Up next, we're going to cover the world outliner. It's basically an outline of all the actors available to us.
World
in our
outliner, got it, Pog. Tell me the good. Teach me
Yeah.
the good.
The world
But,
outliner
come on, where's
is
the
a
game
window.
building?
Yeah, how do I make a game, guy? Guy, I don't care.
This includes assets from our content browser down here.
This isn't
Items
fast
maybe
enough.
from our place mode, such as lights, or even temporary actors that are created when we are running our project. So let's go ahead and take a look at the world outliner. The world outliner can be seen here in the upper right-hand corner. It is basically a layout or hierarchy of all the items in our level. So we can see I have a cube, or I have a text render actor.
Oh, that
or
shit's
I have
sick.
drop control
Okay.
center, and they're all shown in our hierarchy.
I'm not there yet.
For organizational purposes, we can
So
use
that's
folders.
that-
Folders can
like,
be created by right-clicking.
That
choosing
like
create
little
folder,
tiny
and
like
name it whatever you'd
character
like,
light that's
or
always
even
with
from
you.
dock.
Like the closer you
Then
get
can
to
drag
something, the
items
more
into that
lit
folder.
up it gets.
So maybe this text render actor.
You can
maybe this
parent a light
documentation
to an
actor.
object
Now I
that'll
have a
follow
folder
it
called
from
doc, which
wherever you
contains my
position it.
documentation actors. I can close the folder to make it more organized
Sickness.
Or I could hide the folder and hide those items.
I'm
inside the
learning!
folder. Now, if you delete the folder, no permanent damage is going to happen. Folders are for organizational purposes only. They're simply going to return the items back to the root of the hierarchy.
Oh
We can
my
also
god.
use a parent-child
You wanna go
relationship.
outside? Come on,
So I
let's
have
go.
a cube here.
Here.
It's a mesh awesome
I'll pause the
blueprint,
video. Let's go.
and I want a light. I'm going to put a point light on top of it. And I want this light to stay with this cube at all times.
She was
So
looking
if I
at
was
me
to
like,
move
this is not
cube,
fucking funny,
well, the
bro.
light's
Are
not
you
gonna
gonna
go
take
with
me
it.
outside?
If I take the light and child it to that blueprint, so now I have a parent-child relationship, which you can see here in this hierarchy, that item is going to move appropriately. And now the light's going to move with it at all times. Anything you do inside of this world outliner is destructive if it's not to a folder. So I just deleted the light. I could delete my documentation actor if I wanted to, for example, for now. But I'm going to go ahead and undo it. You can right-click on the items and you'll have context-sensitive things. We have the ability to, for example, rename them and edit them.
They were
In
already
addition
grouped,
to this,
right?
we have a few different ways of sorting and filtering. So we can search at the top for specific items. I could type in player, and I'm going to return anything that has a label of player or even the type of player. So for example, I have the player, which is called player, or I have this item called network player start, which is of type player start. We can also change the additional filter by changing the details panel over here. So I can click on this and we have a few different other options to change it. Maybe we want to sort by the socket type or the type or maybe nothing at all. We can do that inside of here. In the bottom right, we have the ability to change our view options. So let's say I want to make it a little cleaner. I have a large world and I only want to work on specific items. If we click on an item, it'll select it. If we change our view option to only selected, it's going to show only that item. If you click on something that happens to be in a folder, it will go ahead and show the folder hierarchy and just that item. If we want to, for example, play our project and we see our temporary items in here, these are our yellow items in our hierarchy, we can hide those by going hide temporary actors, and now those temporary or runtime actors will not show up inside of our outliner. If we want to group our actors to make things a little easier, our folder structure allows us to organize them inside our hierarchy.
Done this just
cannot
by
really
my own
move
choice.
items or affect multiple items at
You're
the
really
same
not
time
teaching me anything.
unless we select them all at once. And
I would like
sometimes
to
we
learn.
don't want to have to do it over and over. So in this case, I want to select my arena. I'm going to select all of my walls. You can right-click and choose Group or Control-G, and this will group them together into one group. And you can see this little green widget on the corners that indicates this item is grouped. If I clicked on this item, it's fine. These are individual items. If I clicked on any of the walls, it's going to select the entire group, and any actions I do affect the entire group. You can, of course, right-click
okay.
and ungroup
Where
them
am I
again
at?
to ungroup the items, and they'll go back to normal. One thing you can do when things are grouped together is you have the ability to lock and unlock them. So by default, they're locked. If you unlock them, this will allow you to temporarily work on individual items in that group until you lock them back up. I'll go ahead and lock it, and now it's back to it. You can also individually remove items.
Wait, fuck, I zoned out and he started talking about locking.
Work on individual items in that group.
About what?
Until you lock them back up. I'll go ahead and lock it.
Where is the locking?
And this will group them together into one group.
Okay.
And you can see this little green widget on the corners that indicates this item is grouped. If I clicked on this item, it's fine. These are individual items. If I clicked on any of the walls, it's going to select the entire group. And any actions I do affect the entire group.
Oh.
You can, of course, right-click and do groups and ungroup them again to ungroup the items, and they'll go back to normal. One thing you can do when things are grouped together is you have the ability to lock and unlock them. So by default, they're locked. If you unlock them, this will allow you to temporarily work on individual items in that group until you lock them back up. I'll go ahead and lock it, and now it's back to it. You can also individually remove items by simply removing that individual item from a group once you've unlocked it. That is the basics of our world outliner. It is, again, a window that contains all the actors that make up our world. Next, we're going to cover the details panel, which allows us, once we've selected items, to adjust the properties.
I gotta pee.
The details.
He's gonna tell me about the details panel next.
I don't believe you. Details panel.
Bro.
Patrick?
Oh no. He's gone. He's gone forever. Are you looking through all the
What?
packs right now?
Yeah,
Why?
just looking at them.
Fair. When do we get to the game? Like, and I'm not trying to jump ahead. I'm just saying, like, when do I learn how to make things do things? You know what I mean? Are you just playing the fucking video and ignoring it in the background?
No, I'm listening to it. You're interrupting it.
The details panel is the panel that shows us the details or the properties or the settings or the options of objects we've selected inside of our level. If I click on an item in our content browser, nothing is going to show in our details panel, which is here in our bottom right. We need to select something inside of our level, like the static mesh or our player, even selecting something in our world outliner. And now we're going to get our details panel. Our details panel is going to show us a few different options. It's going to primarily consist of our top part here, which shows us our components that make up this object, and then our details section at the bottom, which is our properties that we can adjust on this object. Now let's go ahead and look at it in a little more detail. At the top, we can change the name of this item easily just by adjusting it here. And then we have a list of our components that make up this object. In this case, we have an instance of a static mesh actor. It's named linear stair stack mesh, and it's comprised of a static mesh component, which we can see here. We can add additional components if we want to add something else, maybe more meshes, maybe more lights. Basically set it up how you want it. Let's add a point light to our stairs, and we will move it into a position a little bit better. We'll move it maybe to here so it gives a little bit of a glow. And we like this. We like the way this is looking. We actually have to do two. We'll delete one, and we'll move this one. There we go. And we like this, and we want to reuse this. We're going to reuse it maybe multiple times in multiple places. We could create this static mesh again, we could add the light, or we could easily convert this all into a blueprint because we're going to reuse it. We can use the blueprint button that's blue. We'll click on it, we'll find where we want to put it, we'll name it whatever we want, and we'll create it. And now we have a blueprint that is made up of what we had in the item we converted. So our static mesh and its point light. Now you'll notice in here we now have a point light which is blue, and it's part of this item. We could click on it and move it, and the light's going to go with it. We can even drag and drop in more, and they're all going to be set up the same way. And the light's going to go with it, this item. We could click on it and move it, and the light's going to go with it. And you'll notice in here we now have a point light which is blue, and it's part of this item, our static mesh, and now we have a blueprint. Put it, we'll name it whatever we want, and we'll create it, use it. We can use the blueprint button that's blue. A blueprint because we're going to reuse it. We can use the blueprint button that's blue. We'll click on it, we'll find where we want to put it, we'll name it whatever we want, and we'll create it. And now we have a blueprint that is made up of what we had in the item we converted. So our static mesh and its point light. Now you'll notice in here we now have a point light which is blue, and it's part of this item. We could click on it and move it, and the light's going to go with it. We can even drag and drop in more, and they're all going to be set up the same way. Once we have a blueprint, or if we chose a blueprint, for example, here's our player, this is no longer creating a blueprint, but editing or resetting things back to defaults. Once we have a blueprint, or if we chose a blueprint, for example, here's our player, this is no longer creating a blueprint, but editing or resetting things back to defaults. So for example, I can open the blueprint editor, and it's going to show the blueprint editor for this player.
Oh.
We have the ability to change the properties down here.
How far are we
So
going?
in this case, we have our player, and
What
it's
do you
got
mean?
a different location.
Like, do you want to stop and play some games, maybe?
Are you bored?
No, but like, just doing the same thing for a long time.
I mean, isn't that like what this is? Isn't that what learning is?
Yeah.
Than the default.
But it's
Now, how do
nice
I
to
know
take
that?
it in breaks,
Well, the
motherfucker. We
location
had
icon over here
each
shows
class
us what the
divided up
default
into an
option
hour
is showing
long.
up. This little yellow backwards arrow. If we click on
Yeah,
it,
we could do that.
Wasn't
it'll
just
reset it
like
to the default.
straight
In
this subject,
case, 0,
and then
0,
we'll go to
0.
the next.
I'm gonna undo
I mean,
that
yeah,
and put it
6
back
hours
in.
of the same subject is how we
Even if
should have
this one
learned.
changed, you'll go ahead and see that with that icon.
You
Or,
think
for
so?
example,
Absolutely.
Go here and show only
I
modified
feel like
properties.
you
And
gotta
this will show
switch it
the
up
properties
because
that are modified from their defaults.
we already gave them
If you want
electronics.
to really easily
They're already
reset
gonna be
everything,
like on to
you
the
go
next,
here,
on to the
and you can
next,
reset
on to the
the changes
next.
to the default, and that's going to reset everything back to the default.
It's probably the best way to have them learn.
Going through our details panel, we have options. These options are all unique to
Okay, I gotta finish. I'm like
item that we
6
have
minutes
chosen.
behind you.
Bookmarks.
This,
Next
for
question.
example, static mesh here will have different options. than
You're
this
seen as a
static mesh.
particle effect that will
Both of
only
these
run when
objects
viewed in
may be
game. What
active.
is the quickest way to
However,
see
they're
your
going to have
particle
different things
effect
like a
run?
different static mesh assigned to it, different locations, maybe even different measurements. And those are all
Launch the
shown
game
here.
as a
This is where you can
standalone
adjust
window.
them in the details panel. But let's say you're looking for something that you know is there, but you can't find it. We can use our search bar. Type
Press
gravity,
G
for
to
example,
enable game view
and we'll find
sounds
any results
sick.
that have gravity in it.
I don't know if that's
There
right.
are additional options that are hidden by
Can I
default.
play your
These
game
are our
yet?
advanced
Fuck you,
options.
Zach.
If we click
Okay.
Show Advanced, it's going to show us additional options that.
At this rate, he's never gonna finish.
We're no vice.
Gotta let my dogs
We're
out.
no vice
Back up.
developers. Okay, it's gonna take us years to build a game. That's the viewport. Easy clap, dude. What?
And therefore hidden by default. Let's say you want to see them all by default.
To the
you can click
details
the
panel?
eyeball, and we can show all advanced details.
Yeah.
And it's going to go ahead and show
Easy clap. 100%. Didn't miss one.
them all by default. One of the last options inside of here is show hidden properties when playing.
Well, we
It's
might
more
actually
for
fucking
debugging
fly through the
purposes. When
editor's
you're playing,
basics.
You have properties that are hidden, maybe things like events and the items
Maybe.
they're linked to. If you have this checked and you are playing, so for example, let's go ahead and go to our player and hit play. Let's eject and find our player again. If we have the show hidden properties when playing and we scroll down, we'll find things that are unique to only when we're playing, and they're all mixed into here. For example, you might show things like the different settings for the capsule component, different events that are set up when our player is running, and things like that. So if you're looking for something, maybe you want to see it while you're
Bro, I'm gonna die.
playing, you might want to make sure you have that.
Yeah, my dogs, they're freaking out because of the thunder.
Fuck you, Thunder. You can form fellatio.
Go lay down. Bro, my dogs are spazzes.
That option checked.
Why?
Now, one of our last things
They're
is,
freaking out because of the
what
thunder.
if we're working on multiple items and we want to be able to maybe copy properties from one to the other? We have a few.
Where's
different ways of
Bulma
doing this.
stay?
So you have the property
The back room?
Oh, she sleeps in there too?
Yeah.
matrix. Let's say we select.
Oh, I'm
three
already on the
different
content
sections. We
browser.
have our little
Okay.
curve here.
What?
At the top right here, we have our
I'm on the
selection and
content
property
browser.
matrix open option. We click on this and our property matrix opens up. This will give us the items we've selected, and it'll give us the.
I don't feel like this
combined
section is
properties
going to be
we can
very
do.
long. It's just
In
like
this
getting
case,
us
they
used
all
to
share
the
things
the
like
basics
access
of the
settings,
fucking
a
tools.
little easier to read.
Yeah, which is like the most important shit.
Things like a static
Yeah.
mesh actor component assigned to it. In
But
this
all
case,
the
you can
videos
see
are
it's
like 2
multiple
minutes long.
because we have 3 different ones assigned.
Oh, this
If
one's
they
9.
tick or not.
Fuck
Options
me.
like that. Things that are common between all of them can be all changed at once inside of our property matrix. But let's say we want to change not
I can't believe you
necessarily
left our
multiple
League
things,
of
but maybe
Legends match, you
compare two
bastard.
different items. When we click on different items, we're going to change what we see in the details panel. However, we can go to Window, Details, and open up to 4 details panels. Let's go ahead and open up Details Panel 2. I'm going to
Go lay down.
up here on my top left.
Go lay down.
No.
Now
I don't
we have
want
a
to.
Details Panel 2 and a Details
Go.
Panel 1. And
Go
I
lay
can
down.
compare things. We'll organize this.
Go lay down. Go.
Let's say we wanted to match materials. We have this item right here. We're going to go over here. I'm going to make this a pine material. And it's going to go ahead and compile it. And it looks, I like that. Now later on, I'm like, okay, well, I want to match some settings. I want to match some elements that may be different. Instead of clicking on one item, and you now have all these details, clicking on the other.
Stop
back,
being
and
scared.
maybe
Come on.
trying to figure out which
Right here,
details
cowboy.
are different and which ones are the same. You can lock detail panels. There's a little lock icon on the top right, and it'll lock the current selection.
Hey.
So let's go ahead and choose this item here. We're going to lock this panel, and then we'll choose
Fucking
this item.
boring out of nowhere.
You can see this panel in the top left now has our left arm selected. This panel in the bottom right, because it's not unlocked, is going to change to whatever I have. And now I could easily compare. Oh, it's the wood. Okay, I want to make this one wood. Let's see, it's pine. Oh, it's not oak. Okay, there we go. That made it easy. It's pine. We'll go ahead and go here. And it allows you to easily have multiple details panels open to different items by using the lock option. And if you unlock it, it unlocks and you can close it when you're done. The details panel is the panel that allows us to see the properties or the options on our objects and allows us to change them or view them at runtime and design time. Up next is going to be our modes panel. It changes the way we work with our
100% poggers.
the modes panel. That's the panel up here in the
What?
top left. We
How
can
the
access
fuck
it
is
by
content
going to
browser a thing?
and then modes. This gives
What's
us access to
9-minute video you
changing
said?
the different modes inside
Yeah.
of our editor. For example, we have by default our place mode, paint mode, landscape mode, foliage mode, and geometry editing mode. Plugins may add different modes to this, but these are the defaults. In this video, we're only going to cover the place mode. The other default tabs have their own section. Now, the place mode is where you would go to, well, place items into your world. For example, we have our basic section, and we might want to add a cube
Hey.
and maybe change it and use it for blocking out our level.
Bubble.
Or maybe even just as a temporary placeholder. You have different basic items you can do and put into your scene from here. You have different sections like lights, cinematic items, visual effects, geometry. This is where you would drop in geometry and then use the geometry editing tab to modify and make something a little more complex than your basic shapes. Volumes, and then your all classes. Now, all classes means all classes. If we scroll down, we can actually find things like the Mesh Awesome blueprint. It's a blueprint I created. It's under the All Classes tab. We also have things like our third-person character, which is a blueprint that was brought in from this template. If you want to look for something specific, you have a search bar. We can look for light. We'll find anything that comes back with light. And everything has a nice handy documentation page connected next to it. There is one thing to note on this. If you are, for example, trying to manipulate something and maybe it doesn't let you, you may be in the wrong mode. If you look on the right, you'll notice I can choose any of these items, or I can choose them inside my viewport, and they work like I expect. But if I'm in the landscape or the foliage, this is where we can paint and modify landscape and foliage, you'll notice I can no longer select most of these items. I can't select them in the outliner, and I can't select them in the viewport. So keep that in mind. You may have accidentally toggled into a different tab, and if so, you'll need to go back to somewhere where you can modify, like your place, your paint, or geometry editing. You will also notice you have shortcuts. So you can do things like Shift 1 for place or Shift 4 for foliage. The modes panel is where you're going to go if you want to add, modify, or change items or change modes inside of your editor. Up next, we have our content browser. This is the item that allows us to organize our content that we use inside of our project.
On to the content browser, poggers.
The content browser. That's going to be this item down here in our bottom of our window. This is where you have basically all of your content stored and organized for use in your project. You can think of it kind of like a visual representation of the files inside of the content folder inside of your project. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. By default, you have one content browser, and it's going to show up down here. And you can add more. We can go to Window, we could go down to Content Browser, and we can have up to 4 different ones. And like other windows, we can do what we want with it. We can stack it up here. We can have it big and nice and organized. We can dock it somewhere else. I mean, it's kind of silly, but they do keep their own things. So for example, I can search for the word mesh. We're going to find all the meshes. And then in this content browser, maybe I'll have certain things. And in here, I'll have all my meshes filtered out. So you can have more than one content browser and keep them set up how you want. We're going to cover the basics of the way the content browser works. By default, it's going to be like this. It's one panel. And up on the top left corner, you can see this icon. That's the sources panel. If we click on this, this is where we get more of our folder view. We can actually see my content folder has subfolders, each of these ones. And we can open them and close them like you'd expect. You can right click and manipulate any of the items like you'd expect, renaming them and such. For organizational purposes, you can actually color any of the folders. So we could right click, set a color. Maybe we'll make our mannequins like a darker purplish blue, and there we go. Now we know what that folder is. And you can easily organize your folders for anything you would like. Choose existing colors, rename them, and it helps for organizational purposes. You have filtering. You can filter by type. So for example, let's say we're in the content folder, and I want to now see all of my textures. I could go to filters, and I could look for texture, and now all of my textures are going to show up. It doesn't matter which folder it's in, any subfolders under where I am currently, it's going to filter out and show me the textures. Geometry, for example, no textures. Mannequin, I have a few. My starter content has quite a bit. Third person has nothing. Third person blueprint has nothing. But content itself contains all the subfolders, and the filters affect it. Once you have a filter, you can toggle them on and off just by clicking on them. You can right click to remove them, and you can disable them all or remove all of them all at once. You can have multiple filters on at one time. For example, textures and materials is going to show us both textures and materials. Let's go ahead and reset them all back to default. You have your search bar, which I covered briefly. You type it in, it gives you back the result. The toggle lock option prevents this browser from being used when we use the magnifying glass to browse for our content in the details panel. We have our basic navigation at the top. Let's say we're here under starter content, materials. It'll show us our folder structure. We can jump back and forth to any of them we want. We could also use this arrow to navigate back and forward from where you are, regardless of the actual structure. Now you have a few quick shortcuts at the top. We can add new. This is basically the equivalent of right-clicking and choosing to add, and the add new button is just a shortcut to that. And that's where we can add new things like any classes, any assets, folders, as well as content. And this is where you would add in existing features or content packs. We have our import button. We can also right-click to import into this folder. The file import into levels option is not the same. At this point, we would use the import button, select the
We're gonna get done with this, and
Main
then
toolbar.
we'll go to games.
Inside of our project.
Sure.
Save all is going to save all of the modified
Well,
content.
this whole thing?
So in that case, I saved my map. It's the equivalent of
No, this
save
section
all up
before
here,
the next
or
quiz.
Control-Shift-S.
Okay. So
Now that we have
the
the
quiz
basics,
2.
let's look at some of the other smaller features. In the bottom right, we have our view options. This allows us to change the way, well, we view things. So we have by default
Yes,
tiles,
Papa.
we have our list view, and then we have our columns view.
Make sure
Columns
Warzone's
is
up to
handy
date.
because items like, for example, this blueprint will give you information about it. We can see components that are
Warzone?
replicated, the
Yeah.
type of blueprint. You go down to textures, you can find information about the size of the textures, what type of compression, maybe even the LOD group it's in. This is what you're going to get when you use the column view. We'll go back to tiles for now. Below that, we have things like showing folders,
Malfoy is
where we can
freaking
show
out.
all folders or empty folders in our view. We have collections, which I'll cover shortly. And then we have other filters like, do we want to show any
Yeah, I
C++
think it's good.
classes in this project?
Fucked up.
Do we want to see things like developer content, engine content, plugin content, and localized
I
content?
think it's good.
Developer content is content that is specific to you and is meant more of like a scratch area. We have
Down.
a set of folders that are designed
What?
for just my use. The developer folders are generally
Oh
used
my
for
God.
temporary type things. I don't want to really pollute the project with other items that we may not use, so it's kind of like my scratch folder. Engine content is, well, the content of the engine. The engine content itself can be very useful. There are a lot of handy shortcuts in there, such as pre-built materials or textures that you might want to use. Plugin content shows any plugin content for plugins that you have enabled, and then localized content is if you have anything localized.
Get down.
We'll go and disable all of these
Lay down.
for now. Now we'll go ahead and we'll cover the last two. Scale, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the size of the thumbnails. Thumbnail edit mode and real-time thumbnails are interesting. So let's say you have a particle. So let's find a particle system. And here's a particle. And let's say if you have real-time turned on, you'd be able to actually see the particle working inside the thumbnail. Thumbnail edit mode is useful if you want to change the way the thumbnail looks. So let's shut off our particle systems. Here's our, let's go back to here. Let's find something like this item. This is a left arm static mesh. Let's say we don't like the way it looks. We can't really understand what it is. You can go to thumbnail edit mode and then drag the actual thumbnail item around using your normal controls with the mouse. And when you're done with it, you can click the done editing button, and this will allow you to easily create new thumbnails that better match your item. One of the last items is our collections. Collections, you can think of them as basically shortcuts to stuff. And the stuff is configurable. So let's go ahead and show our collections, and we'll get our new collections item down here. By default, so let's say I want to have a collection of rock. I'm going to put rock next to it, rock quickly content. So I can add a collection, and it's a local collection, and it's called rock. Inside of here, I can put colors, and drag it off.
Malfoy, down.
Let's go into
Hey.
Whatever you want, add them if you need to.
I'm fucking.
Now, if you click on this,
Wait, I'm
you'll
big
find
braining.
anything you added to the collection.
Why?
And it's a nice shortcut. You can right click, you can rename this, you can set
Why?
a color to help you indicate
Watch
what's
this
in
shit.
there if you want.
I'll let you know when I get there.
But this is a static collection. It contains the items we put in there. You have, in addition to static collections, dynamic collections, and these are pretty nifty. So let's say you wanted to find any materials. This filter up here is dynamic. It's going to update as the content updates. And if we want a collection like this, we can do our search
Down.
and then
down.
choose to save the current search as dynamic collection icon. We'll click on that, create a new local collection. I'll call this one material search. Nope, can't contain a space. Material search. And now we're done. Now if you look at the top, we have a filter specific for this collection. Searching for materials in the path of /game, which is basically my content folder. You can modify this if you want. Let's say, for example, we didn't want material anymore. We wanted this to be, I don't know, we'll go stone, for example. Click Save, overwrite my existing one or create a new one, and now we have our dynamic search will only show up things that come back with stone. So those are collections in a nutshell. The content browser is an approximation of the file structure, the assets on your storage device. And it's where we can maintain items, sort items, filter items, and store items that we are going to use inside of our project. Up next, we're going to cover the main toolbar. It's our shortcut to many of the features in the editor.
No fucking way.
Did you do something crazy?
I can't. Bitch. What if I. Okay, wait, okay. Just save, and then play.
I'm waiting.
Okay, no, that doesn't work. Okay, so then let's go to maps. Let's go over here. Okay, and then let's see if this works. Play. Okay. Fuck, that hurt. Okay,
Hey, let's just make, dude, we're just gonna make a bunch of meme fucking phone apps. Get that ad revenue, dude.
let's fucking let's 0.5. Okay. And then actually let's do that. Let's do that after here, maybe. So that goes there. Then this goes here. And then this goes here. Is that better? Okay, not better. How do I? I know.
Ooh, oh, yes. Ooh. Editor basics conclusion, dude. I don't
What?
think I don't have to watch this, right?
I gotta watch main toolbar right now, but I'm trying to get something else while that's doing that. So
The main toolbar, that is this little item here at the top, is our quick access to actually working with the project when we want to do things with it other than creating items or creating the actual world itself. And we're going to cover briefly the basic options. The more advanced options are covered in their own sections. So let's get started. The first one's pretty simple. Well, it saves our current map to disk. It's just a quick shortcut instead of just doing something like current or Control S. We have our source control. If we're using source control, this is where you connect your source control.
oh, Pog. Patrick, are you watching? Watch my stream. Mute
Not
me.
yet.
Mute my Discord. Watch my stream.
Mute your Discord?
Yeah, like mute me in Discord so that way you can hear my
You
stream.
don't have to ask me twice.
Okay. Did you deafen or did
I
you?
muted myself.
You're a fucking idiot. I figured as much. I was like, wait. Oh my god, wait, the stream has like a fucking 10-minute delay.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't worry,
Say
I'll clip
goodbye.
I'll clip it and send it to you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay. What did you do? Did you insert your own sound into the button action? No, do I still have this motherfucker muted? No. Does he have me muted?
No, I don't have you muted. I'm just fucking I'm bopping, okay?
What did you do?
I'll send you the thing in a second. Well, I guess
Send it now.
I can't you have to wait for
I'm
the
waiting.
Oh, okay, well then just wait for the YouTube video to catch up. And then you're good.
Is it the button?
Yeah, it's a button.
Oh, you just added the fucking... Yeah, that's what I thought you did.
Yeah, but it's your song.
Oh, it is my song. Oh, it's playing a bunch. What the hell?
And it also allows you to do things such as checking out files and submitting. So it's our quick
That's funny.
shortcuts to source control.
How'd you
We
do
have two
that?
shortcuts here.
Did
Fucking
it take you forever?
it took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to.
Did you do it through your blueprints and shit?
Yeah, I
Now
did
we're
through
getting into
blueprints.
the more detailed items.
It's not
So
perfect,
we have our
but
settings. These are quick access to project and editor settings. So under edit, we have
Okay,
project
taking the
settings,
quiz.
plugins, editor preferences. Under settings, we have quick access to these, our world, project, and plugins. Under this, we have a few selection options.
You want to see what your level
By
looks
default,
like
you can't
when
select
lighting is not
translucent items.
used?
So
How
for
do you do
example,
this?
If you have a material
That's
that's
easy.
translucent like a window, you'll find you can't select
Remove
object
all the
images
light
now.
actors
You
from
can
your
use the
scene.
T key or allow translucent
yeah,
selections
that's
to
how.
do that.
Just
Then we
reset,
have
hard
things
reset.
like making sure you only select items within the box, showing the transform widget or not.
That was
For
it? It was a
example,
two-question
there's the
quiz?
transform
Man.
widget, and we have the
Easy
ability to
clap.
disable it, so now we can't see it. It cleans things up a little bit.
All we have left is editor
Below that, we
preferences,
have
project
things for
settings,
how our
introducing
project's going to
Unreal
look
Engine
when we're
Quiz
working on the
3,
engine.
world
We have the
settings,
scalability
settings
settings.
overview
By default,
conclusion,
it's gonna
and
run
then
in
we're in
auto,
quiz 4,
and
and
that's
we're
gonna adjust
on to
itself
the
as you're
next,
using
baby
it.
boy.
Note that these scalability changes only affect the editor. They will not affect the final product itself. Same thing with material quality level. By default, it's going to be whatever your engine and your video card and your project supports, but you can change it quickly here. And the same thing with your preview rendering level. This is nice because you may be developing, for example, for both desktop, console, and mobile, and this allows you to quickly change to the other types of shaders and preview.
Blueprints and
Note it's
gameplay
just a
for game
approximation.
designers.
Still
That's
testing
that.
the
I think
device.
that's when we
First
start
time you
getting
do
into
this,
it.
it may take a little while
Yeah,
to actually
probably.
compile those shaders for the first time.
Because
When you're
then
working in the
after we
engine
finish
itself, you
this, the
have
next
audio,
one
and this
is
allows you to turn on and
comprehending
off
projects and file
editor.
structure.
By default, when you play, you'll have audio working when you're playing, but maybe you want to hear these ambient sounds or something like that in the editor. You can adjust
And
it
then
here.
it's on to the
There's
goodness.
these snapping options, so when you are moving items around, you can turn on and off snapping. You can hide the UI itself, and then you have some generic
Almost out of the
options as
boring
well.
on game development.
No,
These are
there's
shortcuts
never
to
out of
our
the boring.
blueprint.
That's
This is where we
true,
can do
but
things like
I
opening
feel
the
like
level
there'll be more
blueprint.
excitement
The
to
level
come.
blueprint
Yeah.
has very specific uses.
Dude, do you
now.
remember how excited I was by a
We use
light,
it, for
okay?
example, to reference things like actors directly
And
from the
sound.
game, or maybe triggering sequence of blueprints or other cinematic uses. In addition to that, you have things like
Where's the
shortcuts for
free
converting
shit?
components to blueprints,
The
converting
marketplace?
objects to
There's
blueprints.
just all sorts of free shit there.
Basically the same thing as our blue button here, except at the top. Cinematics is shortcuts to our cinematic system. Matinee, level sequencers, and this is where you would quickly add them. And
I already
modify
signed
them
in.
as
What the
needed.
fuck?
It also gives you a list of any sequencers you may have in the level.
Whatever. I'm not gonna sign in
Our
again.
build options are, well, building things.
It's
You can click
time
the
to
build
switch
button, and
over
by
to
default, it's going to
Warzone.
build.
No, for the marketplace, you just do it
You do
on
not
Epic
want
Games
that,
Launcher.
so therefore you have the
No,
other
I was
options
looking
below
at the
this.
other
You could build lighting only.
how
you can
like the
quality of
learning
it,
section
you
we're
can
in
build out
is
individual things,
like
maybe just the
introduction to game
navigation,
developing or
the
some shit.
LOD, or
Yeah,
even
you
the
just stay on the
geometry
learning
instead of everything at once. This is where you can do all the
portal,
different building related
and there's different options there.
After
Yeah.
this, we have our play button.
I'm not seeing
Right
it.
now, I couldn't play because I had a lighting map set up.
Bitch.
You just what? On the you just exit. and then it goes to the main page on the portal. You're not even
Bitch.
on the portal. You have to sign in to the learning portal. This is not the learning
Yeah,
portal.
that's why I said I'm not signing back in.
Oh my god.
You
Well, yeah, no
ding
shit. You're
dang
not
dummy,
seeing it because
dude.
you're on the wrong fucking
Let's start the
place.
project.
You
By
ding
default,
dang
it's gonna run
dummy.
in the selected viewport, or this viewport here. So I hit play, and we can test our project. However, you have other modes like maybe testing it in how it would look on a mobile device.
Okay. Are
Open
you
it
ready
in
for
its own
Warzone yet or
window, so
no?
maybe you want
And
to
I got
see how it looks
another
when
video
it's
after this one.
size.
Another
Things like if you
video,
have AV
Nathan?
and
It's the
VRVR set up,
conclusion, isn't it?
standalone
Yeah.
game,
There's nothing you need to see in there. It's literally just the same shit you just listened to.
Closely resembles the final version.
No, because it gives like last little tips and tricks.
You're a dumb idiot, dude.
Trying to learn.
In your scene, and it allows you to view them in the
I like
viewport.
really want to do
Physics
this and
or
get good at
colors
it.
running, simulate lets you check
For
and
now, 'cause I'm
telling you
hyper-
the video doesn't have anything.
Below that, we have a few things relating to multiplayer. For example, when your player starts, where does he start at? Do I want him to start where my current camera is? I can do current camera location. Or do I want them to start at any player starts? By default, it's the default player start. Let me go ahead and stop this. Below this, how many multiplayer clients will be loaded when you're doing a listen server setup? Or do you want to run it as a dedicated server?
We're definitely doing
And then you
multiplayer,
have
right?
Access to your advanced options.
What?
Change
The
your
game that
level
we're
of
making is
settings.
definitely multiplayer, right?
This
Even if
allows
it's a
things to
story-driven
for
game, it's
example, when you
multiplayer,
launch
right?
it for the standalone
Yeah,
window,
how do we do that
or the
though?
new window, what size does it
There's a
launch?
whole like
Just allow a second person to be there.
there's like a whole section dedicated to online and like
We're gonna be
dedicated
one of
servers.
those. Oh shit. Okay.
Lastly, we have our launch settings. By default,
Well, we need to make a couple phone apps first.
Yeah. Just throw those out real quick.
Get some money first, and then we could spend time developing a game.
We just remake Flappy Birds, right? Like there's only 50 of those
Yeah.
out, so we just
Or maybe you want to try like
Absolutely.
HTML5 and determine which device is going to launch on for that. Chrome or Edge in this
Make a
case.
new Clash of Clans.
You also have
Yeah,
quick
just
access
real
to
quick.
Things like the project launcher, the device manager,
And then
a
we no need to
shortcut
balance it.
change the
and,
supported platforms.
No,
Make
we
it pay to win for sure.
we make
The
our money.
main
We don't care.
toolbar is where you
Yeah.
quickly start working with your project once you've got it set up. This is where we can do things like building out our lighting and our navigation, testing our project, or working with source control. Up next, we're gonna go ahead and review.
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna play some more Psychonauts tonight. I think once Nathan's off, I'm gonna hop off.
And with that,
Oh, yeah, I'm probably gonna go to bed early tonight.
Basics series. We learned
Oh no,
the
I'm gonna
basics
keep playing
of the
games.
editor
I'm
itself,
just gonna play
how to
League,
customize it,
Fucking
as well
nerd.
as how to reset it
and I'm
when
not
all
gonna
goes
stream
wrong.
that.
What if we just
We
make
worked on
Smite,
viewport.
but
We
good?
figured out how to set up multiple viewports.
How do we make
Looked
Smite
at some of the
better?
visualization options.
What is wrong
Learned
with
about the
Smite
different
in your
snap
opinion?
settings, and then how to
You can look
navigate
up and
inside
down,
of the
and like
viewport
you can
itself.
jump.
We worked on the world outline.
So
It's an outline of our project.
We add those. You can't do those in Smite.
oh, you can't. I thought you can jump.
We learned how we can better organize it.
Maybe you can jump, but you can't look up and down, so that seems kind of weird.
We looked at the details
Yeah,
panel,
but I mean, it's not
panel that controls the
necessary.
properties for our
Necessary.
objects.
Necessary.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have
It's not that necessary.
but
to
you're
look
able to
up
like
and down.
you're able to like jump up onto like the cliffs in between, right? And like that's how you can like travel the map that way. And but people can also shoot you that way or take you out that
as
way,
well
you
as
know?
how to set up multiple
Oh,
panels
like
to improve our
really
workflow.
channel your abilities.
We looked
Yeah.
at our modes panel.
Like you actually got to be
It basically
good.
controls how we
So
work
make it
inside
like
the
a
editor, and then we looked quickly
uh,
at how to place objects in our world.
It's a
first
using the
person.
place
It's
mode.
a battle arena, but also a
We looked at
MOBA
our
at the same
content
time.
browser. It's our
Yeah, but you
visualization
can
of our
like
file
duck.
structure
You
for
can
our project.
there's
We
literally
learned how we can
cover
customize
around the
it
map. You
to
can
work how we
crouch
want.
behind, and the
Use
abilities
filters to only
are
hit
blocked.
specific content.
Yeah, except some
as well as
abilities
using
have like
dynamic
tracking, of
instead
course,
selection.
that are just stupid
Yeah.
and piss everyone
And then we
off.
wrapped it
You know,
up
we
with our
got to piss
tools.
people off too. Come
It's
on.
our quick access to
Yeah.
our project, our settings,
True.
ability to build out our changes such as our lighting and navigation, as well as play testing our project quickly. Thank you for watching.
Okay, taking the second quiz now. Watch this shit. Ready? I'm about to get 100% easy. You want to easily select multiple actors within your scene? Where are you able to do that in the editor? The fucking world outliner. Yeah, I was right. Next question. You want to see what your level looks like? Change lighting build settings.
You want to see what your level looks like?
Select unlit view mode is the correct answer. Poggers. Exit. All right, stream. But Patrick, there is, if you go to the content library on the thing that we were at, there is games, architecture, automotive, and transportation, which is fucking. That's some like.
Let's design some new cars and sell the ideas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this isn't just for gaming. Like this, Unreal has gone insane. But like the main ones are welcome to architectural visualization, film and television, game development, which is what we're doing right now, and then there's one that's just straight up welcome to Unreal Engine, which turns out interesting. We are 25% done with that as well.
Nice.
From doing the game development, it looks like some of the stuff carries over.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's if you go to the content library, there is a ton of courses. Like if you go to games, there's ambient and procedural sound design. There's look at real time rendering, performance,
Yeah.
and
You're like, where'd you get your education? For free?
yeah, there's
Unreal Engine.
dude, there's animation kickstarting.
Like,
there's
fuck,
fucking
dude, you're hired.
blending and tiling textures. There's creating and using plugins. They're teaching you how to code your own fucking plugins if you want to do something that can't be done. There's all the blueprint stuff. There's fucking
There's an intro. There's like an hour intro to code or some shit.
Oh yeah, that was on the actual marketplace or under Learn on Learn on the Epic Games launcher. That's not even on the fucking library. That's something that you do in Unreal Engine itself. Like all of the courses is in Unreal Engine, so it's like problem solving, which is kind of cool. Okay, stream. I gotta end the stream. Change the title and game.